Hello, everyone. Welcome to Unboxing O'Connor and Weatherall Part 4. This is our final edition of unboxing for the misinformation age. I hope everybody is safe and healthy. I hope your loved ones are too. Let's get to it. The first thing in my box is, well, actually, it's this laptop. It's this Chromebook I have, which is primarily how I interact with social media, because we're talking about social media. Specifically, we're talking about fake news being spread on social media. Fake news, in many ways, is nothing new. What is new is the way the technologies are being exploited by people who have political and industrial sort of interests at stake. So, somebody exploiting an AI algorithm to spread fake news, there you have AI algorithms as a potential source of a problem. However, AI algorithms can also be used to seek out fake news and to try to keep it off of a social media platform and to keep it from being spread. Okay, so AI algorithms, of course, right? Just like any of the technologies we've talked about so far, it's not necessarily good or bad. It's how you use it and for what purpose it is being used. So then the authors are also considering, I'll get to the second thing in my box now, I guess, which actually is in my box. This is an American coin. In America, we do have the First Amendment, right? Citizens have a right to freedom of speech. So the authors are considering the sort of legal precedent for a ban on fake news. Is that compatible with part of the First Amendment? The First Amendment says many things, one of which is that citizens have this right to freedom of speech. So they compare a ban on fake news to something like what we already have, which is a legal ban on slander and libel, which is spreading lies about people either by word of mouth or in print. Okay. So getting back to the second and then I guess the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth things. So this is, we'll take a closer look at this second thing. This is a 1 ounce coin. It is a dollar coin. This is of a 1 ounce, though, of fine silver. Okay, and then these are 4 quarters. So these two things appear to be equivalent in a certain sense. But one of the things the authors talked about was one of those strategies of big tobacco. Got my trusty big lighter here. You can use that to light up the cigarette of your choice. But tobacco lobbyists and people who were supporting the industrial interests of big tobacco corporations would appeal to principles of fairness or equality when it came to how they expected the news media to cover the scientific controversy surrounding the health effects of smoking. What we have here appear to be two things that are equal, but these two things are not equal, right? This is an ounce of fine silver, and these are quarters, which are a composite of different metals, not nearly worth as much as an ounce of fine silver. So an appeal to equality or fairness or being fair and balanced can oftentimes actually be a way to spread bias and to undermine an emerging or even established scientific consensus. Why? Because you're making two things appear to be equal even though they're really not, right? So especially when it comes to these scientific questions that are highly politicized and polarized in this country, for example, climate change, right now COVID-19, when we're looking at these kinds of scientific issues, right, we ought to be very wary of journalists needing to appear to teach both sides of the controversy or give both sides of a controversy equal representation, because that appeal to equality or fairness is actually usually bogus and actually a tool of the propagandist right? One of the favorite tools of big tobacco, right? Yeah, we got our doctors that are going to say smoking's healthy or everybody should have bacon for breakfast. So, yeah, when we're talking about these issues that are highly polarized and politicized, right? Yeah, we ought to be very wary of, like sort of concerns about banning, right? And I will talk in the bigger picture video tomorrow about plandemic. If you're not familiar with that, I'm glad for you that you're not familiar with plandemic. But yeah, like the scientific issues that are being treated in the media in what may appear to be a very biased way, actually represents a more sort of fair and balanced way of reporting, because as the authors note, you shouldn't just be looking at whether or not there are scientists on both sides of an issue that is highly politicized and highly polarized, but you also ought to be looking at where the bulk of reputable, respected, and well reputed scientists and institutions are on these questions. Okay, so I hope that was helpful, and I hope everybody's safe and healthy, and I will see you tomorrow.